This is Shane, Hurricane Helms, inviting you to watch Rasslin Rage. That's Rasslin, Rasslin, Rage. And if not, what's up with that?
Oh!
It's going down!
This is Rasslin Rage!
Do it now!
This is Rasslin Rage!
Scream it out loud!
This is Rasslin Rage! Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade!
It's going down!
This is Rasslin Rage!
Do it now!
This is Rasslin Rage!
Scream it out loud!
This is Rasslin Rage! Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade!
And now it's time for Rasslin Rage with your host, Cody Fleming.
Yo, oh, already fucking shit up. There we go. All right, anyways, yo, we're here. We're live tonight. I actually double-checked this time. We are officially live.
Got it right this time.
Right, no baloney. We literally sat here and talked for an entire hour about indie wrestling and Cyber Pro, and not a motherfucker seen any of it. But it is what it is. We're back tonight to do it all over again. And while we were sitting and we were just kind of rapping, and I was talking to Nick here about a while back, I did a interview with Big John Murray, one of the 5 Most Wanted, and it was kind of the same thing, but I did a whole interview, and for some reason the audio didn't work, and I ended up having to do another one again. But thank you for joining me tonight, by the way. Definitely, especially after, me fucking up the first one and you coming back and doing it another night. I appreciate that.
Well, it went okay yesterday, so I figured I'd give it another shot.
All right, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now,
hey, we appreciate it.
Right.
This is awesome.
Now, before we get into talking about Field of Screams and Cyber Pro United Wrestling, I would like to remind everybody, if you have not already, please subscribe to the Rasslin Rage YouTube channel. This is where you will find MIDub on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. This is where you'll find usually internet views on Wednesdays when the live actually goes live. 6:30, 7, depends. We're on XI time. So it's the ish, okay? And then you also catch Rasslin Rage on Sundays at 7 p.m. And then you never know what else there might be on there. You never know when I might get something in the mail and have to record a collector's corner or something along them lines. Also, down in the description, you will find social media links for Cyber Pro United. I do believe there's an event page link as well, and a link to their YouTube page. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Also, you will find links to all of Rasslin Rage social media, the Michigan Independent Weekly group on Facebook, as well as the page, and a link to the Rasslin Rage /MIDub Podbean, where you can listen to audio of all the episodes and or interviews that we do. If you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe you already have one, there's another link down there that'll allow you to get unlimited hosting for free for 30 days on Podbean. That's why we chose Podbean. You know how much content we put out on YouTube? Well, all of that goes on Podbean too. And if you don't have unlimited hosting, it ends up costing a lot of money. Just telling you right now. That's why I like Podbean, because it doesn't cost me a whole lot of money. All right. So, anyways, Mr. Nick Moss, again, thank you for joining me. If you guys don't know, he is a promoter for Cyber Pro United, who is throwing Field of Screams this Saturday, November 31st in Coldwater, Michigan. So, let's talk a little bit about Cyber Pro first, okay? How did Cyber Pro start? And because this isn't the first show.
No, this is our first show in a little under 7 years, I think it is. It started by a guy getting a hold of me back in 2013, asking me to put a show together for him. And though I had no reason being in that kind of a spot at that point in time, and probably still don't now, you just got to take the best chance that you get. And we did a couple shows down in Allen Park, and we did one in Royal Oak, Oak Park was our first show, and all of it went really well. And unfortunately, the guy that was my partner lost the passion for it and ended up backing out. And I was given this opportunity by the guys at Vigilante Entertainment Group. And I figured, might as well give it a shot and bring it back one more time and see what we can do.
Well, I mean, not bad of a book for the, a card for the first show back in 7 years, let me tell you. Just looking at the flyer alone, you're like, oh, I got to see this. You know what I mean? You got Larry D right there on the top, and we talked about him a little bit last night, and of course we're going to talk about him again today. What a guy! I'll talk about. Would you call it a Cinderella story?
I don't know. I mean, I think it was just a matter of time story.
Okay.
Right. Once the right people finally seen what Larry had going on, that it was only a matter of time until he, got to where he is now.
Yeah, I believe I seen him on both of the Legends of Wrestling show that was in Fraser at the Fraser Ice Arena. I think he was at both of those, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, what a hard worker, man. I mean, and then now here he is, Impact Wrestling star, and then we're gonna see him here Saturday taking on a indie legend here in the state of Michigan, and pretty much a lot of the places that you go when it comes to independence, they know the Mysterious Movado.
Yeah,
it's somebody you're familiar with too.
Yeah, I'm fairly familiar with the Mysterious Movado. I think it's pretty much the same thing for him. He's put in so much work that now it's just a matter of time until, we just don't get to see him too much here in Michigan anymore. So right. I'm hoping to take advantage of that while he's still here.
And you do see him where he, he's doing, Mexico. And I mean, not so much right now during COVID, but I mean, you see
right.
He's doing
but that
a
is
lot
the
of
only reason he wasn't in Mexico this summer.
Right.
That the unfortunate global bastard, as I've heard it called.
Yeah, well, it's the bastard child of Ebola or something, but regardless, the fucking thing. I'm so sick of this shit, dude. You know what I mean? I really am, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, the outside shows were cool, but now it's cold. We live in Michigan, and I hate the cold. I absolutely hate the cold.
And though that new executive order or whatever it was, the public health just came out with, we're still hoping that everything's going to go full force for our show and everything's going to go smooth and everybody takes the proper precautions that are needed, in these types of situations. And hopefully it's as smooth as possible.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Now, outside of Cyber Pro, you're a wrestler. You've been in the wrestling business. How long was it? Did you say 11 years?
Yeah. 11 years this month.
11 years, man. 11 years. So how did you get started in professional wrestling? Because I know some guys are like, oh, I watched it as a kid, or, hey, I did amateur mat wrestling, or, sand wrestling, or I've heard a lot of different backgrounds of a lot of different guys. And then some guys were like, oh, well, I knew somebody and they said I'd be cool. And I did it.
Yeah. That last one is pretty close to how I was introduced to wrestling. Yeah. Back in 2009, I got into an argument with somebody on Facebook about wrestling. They said they were a wrestler. I said, there's no way that someone lets this guy wrestle. And he said, come to the show. So I went, and once I seen that show, I was like, okay, if this guy can do this, there's no way I'm sitting here in the crowd anymore. And I went and started getting trained and found Briar Wellington. He did wonders for me, with the way he approaches training and everything like that. Yeah. And then eventually I made it down to, guys like Ian Rotten and Congo Kong and Isaiah. And now the last 2 years almost, I've been at the House of Truth helping out and learning, and probably more learning than helping, which is awesome. But, I try to do what I can for those guys. Cause I mean, there's only so much I can do for them for the people like Truth Martini and the Mysterious Movado and all the other guys that are in there. It's just as much of a learning experience for me as it is anything else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Truth Martini won, I know he plays a bad guy, but he won my respect when, he reached out to us and was like, hey, I'd like to do an interview because they have a promotion and he invited us into the school, and I'm like, dude, I was just blown away. And he treated, he didn't treat us any different. And I really respect him for that. And I mean, I don't expect special treatment. I don't think I'm not special. I've said it before. I'm just a dude with a YouTube channel, man. So yeah, lots of respect there. And Mysterious Movado too. He's always been very nice to me, and not an ignorant prick, which some people can be ignorant pricks. So
no, everybody has their moments,
right? Yeah.
I've known Movado since I broke into the business, and I did a bunch of earning his type of respect by getting my ass kicked by him a bunch when I first started. So,
man, those shots to the chest, it's not just one, like it's just
right. And it was a lot different back then when I was 135 pounds and he was almost 300 pounds or wherever he was at the time. So I'm glad he's lost weight. I'm glad I've gained some of it, and we're meeting in the middle a little bit now.
Right on. So you said you were originally trained by Briar Wellington. Now, did Briar have a school at that time, or was it just kind of
at that time he did have a place with a ring and everything like that, and we would go 3 times a week and go and set up the ring and get our ass kicked by him, and then take the ring down and store it. And the whole breaking down the ring thing I absolutely hated, and it turned out that was a super beneficial thing that he was showing us how to do, to be able to go and help out at other shows early and have a little bit of an idea of what we were doing. And right. Just he was definitely a lot about the conditioning and the etiquette and the proper ways that things were done when he came up, and that helped out a lot, because I think some of those things are lacking a little bit now here and there. Right.
Yeah. And I had a conversation when I did that interview with Truth Martini, and we talked a little bit about etiquette. And one of the things that he was talking about is he was saying that, when a lot of the times when you see these guys in the big leagues or wherever, and it doesn't anywhere, and you think, oh man, why is that guy not getting the opportunities that everybody else is, or that girl or whoever? And he says a lot of times it's because of etiquette. A lot of times they don't have good etiquette, and they won't get those opportunities if they don't have the etiquette.
I mean, we see it from other promoters posting all the time when guys from the House of Truth go down there, and they weren't scheduled to be there. They didn't know they were going to be there, but they show up early and they help out. They do everything they can, from chairs to ring to security to whatever that the promoters need. And I know Truth really appreciates that, because he really tries to drill in the proper ways that things should be done.
Right. And you have a couple guys that I know of that came out of Truth Martini on this show, which would be TJ Meyer and Tanner Nix. And I know, damn it, Daryl, right? Daryl Jackson?
Darrell Jackson.
Darrell. Yeah. I was close. Aha. All right. Now,
he's a little bit of a newer guy for you.
Yeah.
For you guys.
Yeah.
I've known him for quite a while. I'm glad to see him back into the business and trying. And he wanted the spot. I was more than happy to figure something out for him.
Boy, I have a lot of respect for. I mean, I like Tanner and TJ both, but I have a lot of respect for TJ because COVID happened, and there was a long period of time where people weren't able to do anything. There was no wrestling. There was no nothing. There was no outdoor shows. There was no. We were confined to our room, and
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
TJ, you could see after shows start happening again or events start taking place, and you could tell the guys that sat on the couch eating cupcakes and the guys that actually put some work in. And TJ Meyer was one of those guys that put some work in, and it was almost like I wouldn't say he totally reinvented himself, but he learned how to be himself. He learned how I don't know. He captivated the crowd a little bit more, and it was like there was a switch turned on, and we see a totally different TJ.
Yeah, I think he's just really starting to believe in himself. Like he's really starting to just kind of start to figure out where he thinks he belongs, and he's aiming for it, and he's going for it, and I think he's a great kid.
Right, and he's a young cat too, man. He's young. Yeah. So he's got nothing but time.
Both under 22 years old,
right.
22 and under. So, I mean, yeah, I wish I would have started when I was 22.
Oh man, dude! If I was 21 again, I'd be at the House of Truth right frickin' now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I just ain't got the time. I would love, you know what I do want to do eventually though is, and I know that you got to train just like a wrestler, but I would love to do some reffing. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind doing some ref. You know, but again, I know I got to train just like a wrestler, and I just ain't got the time right now. And if I ain't got the time to dedicate to it, then there's no point in doing it because it's just going to let me down and it's going to let everybody else down. So.
Yeah, being a ref is a super crucial part of professional wrestling that I think is overlooked a lot.
Right.
Because you know, some places just don't use the, you know, they use their friend or whoever, you know, and it really brings down the quality of what a ref is supposed to be and what they're able to do in the ring. As when I was recovering from a few injuries throughout these 11 years, I did a lot of refereeing, and I think that helped me. Probably more so than if I would have been wrestling at that time, just because of the opportunities that I got, the people that I got to work with during that time. I wouldn't have been able to wrestle them. I wouldn't have wrestled a Chris Hero or a Davey Richards or Tracy Smothers, rest in peace, or or like any of you know, the multiple, you know, Faders and Jake Roberts and all these guys. You know, I wouldn't have wrestled them, but I got to ref their matches, so I got to sit there and listen and see their approach and just really appreciate those types of opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like you got a good head on your shoulders, like, because I mean, you know, this is really only the second time we've ever had a discussion. I mean, yesterday being the first time when, you know, we were live and we thought we were live, but really we weren't. But I mean, it is what it is. Now, also on the card, we have Congo Kong, a former Impact star, Michigan native from Michigan, played football for a university here in state. And who is he taking on?
Hoodfoot Mo Atlas.
Atlas. Now, ain't that a Hoodfoot Mo Atlas? That's a hell of a name, dude.
Yeah, and he's a hell of a guy, too. He's gaining a lot of momentum down south, well, the southern Indiana, Tennessee, Kentucky type area. So, you know, I want to bring him up here and give him an opportunity that, well, I shouldn't say he deserves to face Congo Kong in a tables match because no one deserves to deal with that. But, you know, he's getting an opportunity, and I feel like he's going to make the most of it.
Absolutely. Definitely. You know, he looks like a big meanie, but he really is got a big heart. I've seen him interact with kids. And as scary as he may be, some kids just love that guy. So good stuff.
Well, when you're a kid, you get the nice side. Yeah.
Now we also have a man that's been on Rasslin Rage, one Joseph Schwartzy, going up against Jake Chris, an Ohio native, another Impact guy. I see a theme here, but what exact, you know, as far as this guy here, dude, my Lord, talk about a character. And we talked about it again a little bit yesterday, and I talked to him about it briefly in the interview that I did with him. But I've heard about him, you know, and I knew that he was married to Randy West. I know who Randy West is. I've seen a lot of her stuff. I've actually seen her wrestle a few times live. I had never seen Joseph Schwartz at all, ever. I had
and
seen,
what a version for you to see.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know?
And I never seen anything. And then he come out for the first TKW show. And I mean, from the moment that music hit, I was intrigued. I was like, I was just like, you know, like, you know, when like you experience something as an adult that you experienced as a kid, and you get that nostalgic feeling, and you're kind of in awe, and you get that tingly feeling a little bit. That's what I felt like when I witnessing all that there was of Joseph Schwartz. And I was really taken back by like the small things that he did that got the people either fired up or enjoying what was going on. I mean, I was one of the guys that was enjoying it, but there was a lot more people that didn't like it. Not, you know what I mean, though, in the character sense of it. And
it's a little abrasive.
But man,
oh
man, I enjoy it. I think it was amazing. I really do. There was a video that just came out of him from, I don't know what show it was, and he's walking out and he's dancing with the old guy, and I'm just, I'm just cracking up laughing. I'm going, this guy, where was this guy? This is the guy. I love that.
Like you talking about the nostalgic feeling, he does bring back the little bit of the old school sense of making a connection with the crowd and getting people into the match more so than, just making them sit there and watch a cool move or two. He makes you enjoy every aspect of a wrestling match. And that's why I feel like him and Jake Christ is just gonna blow the roof off the place.
Oh yeah. I remember in an interview I did with Rude Boy, and Rude Boy said to me, he says, half the problem with wrestling now is the wrestlers are too busy working each other than working the crowd. And I think that Mr. Schwartz there pretty much works the crowd the whole match. I've just,
from the moment he walks out to the moment he walks back, there is not a moment where the crowd feels like they're left behind.
You're right.
At all.
And I'm just blown away because like there is, I don't really think, I mean, maybe El Ridiculoso, but I don't really think there's anybody that does that right now currently, in my opinion.
I mean, it's definitely lacking. There's, a lot of people are trying to, like Rudy said, put themselves over and pop the boys in the back. And sometimes, maybe you should just concentrate on popping the people that paid to see you.
Amen. That way we keep coming back.
Right.
That's what I said. I forget who I was having a conversation with somebody, and I said, the fans don't need to talk. We don't need to say, hey, we don't like this or we don't like that. We talk with our money.
Right.
That's the truth. If we like the show, we'll go. If we don't like the show, we won't go.
I mean, you're in what, Port Huron?
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah,
so
Marysville.
Anytime you go to a show, it's a little bit of a trip for you. So them making it worth it definitely motivates you to keep going. Yeah.
And I tell the story all the time that, and I'll tell it again because, I got to. XICW, my very first XICW was actually not a Proving Ground. It was another show. But then I went to a Proving Ground, and it was the season finale, I believe, of season 5. Levi Blue and Billy Ray Daniels. Billy Ray, I know Billy Ray. I've watched him from the very beginning. I was, there during some of his training. And I've known him for quite a while. So I was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to support him. And me and Danny Beals, this one of the co-hosts, went. Josh, my other co-host, was there, but he was with somebody else. And we went, and I've been hooked ever since. And I've only missed, I've only missed one Proving Ground. And that was, I was in Amsterdam, and DBA said, I definitely get a pass for that. And then the only other XI show I've missed so far is the 300th event. And that's because I was carted away in an EMS, and I think I get a pass for that one too. So
yeah, I guess you're allowed.
Yeah.
I guess that's a pass, right?
And I am so, I love XI. I just absolutely love XI because I believe it's one of the only places that I can be myself. I can throw the F-bombs out. I can go crazy and everybody's okay with it.
Yeah, they definitely, outside of probably being the best promotion in Michigan at this point, they definitely give their fans the freedom to express themselves however they feel the need to. And I think that just makes it even better.
Oh yeah. And we eat it up, boy. Do we eat it up?
Absolutely.
I know that the night, so it was House Party 4. It's at House Party 4, and they announce House Party 5, and they announce that it's going to be the 300th event, and that they have, and it's the 20-year anniversary for XICW, and they announced that they have a special T-shirt for sale. I think they sold out of T-shirts that night. They had to start taking fucking advanced orders and shit, dude. I walk up,
And that just goes to show, like, when you make the crowd connect with your product and they actually appreciate it, you can do some really good business.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I walked up and I was like, hey, so I ain't got no cash on me. Can I pay y'all with some PayPal and I'll send that baby friends and family? And they were like, hell yeah. They took my money. You know?
Right.
Now
I don't know why PayPal has any other option but the friends and family. Nobody's getting charged for them.
Right. Now, Cyber Pro, as far as the future is concerned, are we looking at an every month thing? Now, I know you talked about going other places outside of Michigan. Would you like to talk about that a little bit? Like, what's the idea?
So this show coming up Saturday is the only one we're doing this year. It's a good little trial run so everybody can see exactly what we're getting into and everything like that. We do have another show January 2nd in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which more information will be coming along the night of this show about.
Okay.
And then I think we're back in Coldwater February 20th. We're going to do in Coldwater, and I believe in March we're back in Indiana in Fort Wayne.
So you're going to run multi-state.
Yeah, we're going to do a couple different venues here and there. We're going to try to figure out the best plan of attack to advance our company as quickly but as successfully as possible.
Absolutely.
And we have a lot of good stuff coming up, especially in Coldwater. And I wouldn't like to be a once a month type of promotion. I think we could do a lot more. And hopefully, as long as everything goes smoothly, we'll be able to expand and do the things that wrestling companies should aim for.
Right, absolutely. And when you go to independents here in Michigan for myself anyways, you could see the difference in production quality and who cares and who doesn't. You just can. There's those,
absolutely.
And I'm not trying to knock anybody, and I'm not going to put any names out there, but there are promotions out here that just get by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's the ones that actually care. And I mean, there's the ones that are putting some time and some effort into what they're doing, and they're presenting a product and a story that people can really get behind. And I respect that. You could tell what the ones, because the ones I'm spending my money at, that's the ones I'm talking about that I like, right? Because they're doing the things that need to be done,
Yeah, they're doing the things that appeal to you and most of the wrestling fans around here.
Absolutely. Obviously, I drive hour to 2 hour, maybe 3, depending on where it's at, and if the show's right, I'll go. And it doesn't have to have a bunch of big name stars on it. You know what I'm saying? XICW Proving Ground. And I'm not saying the guys that are on aren't stars, but you got these rookies, right? When I seen these rookies that were announced, I'm like, this is going to be an awesome season. And it has been. Now I want to get it fucking over with.
Yeah, hopefully everything goes smooth and they can get that semis and the finals and everything that they're doing. Finally get it going again. And
man, I can't wait, dude. Now
it'll be cool to see them go back to High Rocks or the Ritz or whatever the name is this week of that venue.
I love that.
The venue changes, but XI is still there.
Right? Yeah.
That'll never.
XI remains the same. Everything else changes.
Right.
So, as far as YouTube goes, right? We're on YouTube. We're live right now, and I know that we spoke briefly about Cyber Pro having a YouTube channel, and I did search it and found it and put that link down in the description. And you were talking about you guys have a little bit of a plan with your YouTube channel. What exactly are we looking at here?
Yeah, once we start getting some more content and everything, probably after this show, we're gonna start busting out weekly webisodes, try to get a web series type thing going, and just try to expand the brand out in that kind of way. Because the more eyes you can get onto it, I think social media is great for that.
Absolutely.
To expand out and really try to get people that just can't make it, from different states or busy or whatever, to really see the product and try to get them hooked into checking it out more. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like with YouTube, you can look at your analytics of your channel of like what's going on, and what your audience is, right? Like primarily men or women or what have you, or what your demographic is and stuff like that. And I know, like, I get guys over in the United Kingdom watching our stuff.
I've been on a couple podcasts over in the UK because of because of Ian Rotten,
right?
People buying his DVDs and all that kind of stuff, and they seen that I was like the ref there for like a year. I was like the only ref there, so they like had me on, and it was a great time waking up at 4 a.m. to do a podcast for those guys. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I went to England 2 years ago, I think it was. We went to England, and yeah, what an experience. I mean, I loved it there, but the jet lag sucks.
Did you get to check out any wrestling?
No, I did not. I was I was in Amsterdam, because we went to Amsterdam for 3 days, Paris for 3 days, and then we went to England. And I was like, when I was in Amsterdam, I'm like looking it up, trying to find, and there was a show, but it's the day we were taking our train to Paris. So I was like, shit.
I'm not going to miss Paris for an indie show.
Yeah, well, I actually wished I would have. No, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Paris. I like the place. I just don't like the people. I'm just saying. No. Shoot. It's always shoot with Cody, right? But, people are talking in the chat, and they can't, there we go. I have automatic, like, a thing that moderates the chat. So anytime somebody swears or something, it tries to block their stuff. So I have to approve it. So because all my admins are not here, they're all fired. Danny Beals, Josh, fired.
They're all fired. Every
one of them are fired. And that's why they call me the boss. I fire them all the time. Fuckers. Let's talk a little bit about Vigilante here, because they're new to you, right? I've known a couple of the guys for quite a few years, and their Vigilante Entertainment Group, they do a lot of musical concert gathering, get together type stuff. They've been really on the promotional and advertising aspect of like a lot of punk shows and things like that. Though they would put together anything for anybody. And somebody Chuck Stein might know, huh?
Yeah, I would say Chuck probably knows them pretty well. Yeah. And one of the guys, Danny, we've been talking for a few years now about, when we get this chance, we're gonna try something. And then he called me about 4 months ago, like, yeah, I finally got a ring. Let's start doing this. Let's start getting it together. And once we found an opening, because of the Corona stuff and all that, we got it together, and now we're just gonna do our best to put it, work as a team and try to push forward.
Absolutely. And it's kind of cool to have something like that behind you, because in the entertainment industry, they know people, right? And they can make some sponsorships happen and all kinds of great things, And hey, maybe we can get some live bands, playing intermission.
Yeah, that's definitely an idea and a plan that we have.
No mosh pits, though. No moshing.
Right.
Looking at you, Tommy Vendetta. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty fun time coming up here, and hopefully we could execute everything as well as possible. Oh yeah,
one more thing. No Legos in the mosh pit.
Yeah, please, no Legos.
Them fucking things hurt, man.
Hell yeah, they do.
I'm not big into the deathmatch thing, but I mean, other people are, and more power to them. But it just ain't my thing,
I've slowly, I think, because of working at IWA Mid-South for Ian for so long, I've gained such a respect for the guys who can do that properly. Right. I mean, there's such a wide gap between the guys who can really put it together and the guys who are just putting each other through stuff. Right. That it's much more apparent, I think, than even like in a normal wrestling match.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of it. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm more
it's
of
a lot of death matches, but there's not a lot of great death match wrestlers.
Right. Yeah, I'm more of a hardcore kind of guy. Like not too over the top. but right there, like a Rhino ECW match, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. You know?
I've always, I grew up in the 80s and 90s with ECW and all that kind of stuff. And that's always what I've kind of aimed and, leaned towards as well.
Mankind, Mick Foley type shit. That's, I
think the Kong Mo Atlas tables match is going to be a great representation of like that kind of a style, more so than a death match.
I can just see Congo going through a table. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, that's going to be a hell of an order for Mo to make that happen.
Well, I watched Suplex Shogun, Jackson Stone take on Congo Kong at Warrior Rampage 2 at the Crowfoot in Pontiac. And Stone suplexed him. I was like, whoa.
Shogun's not exactly the smallest person either.
No,
that's a pretty decent sized dude right there.
But but still, I mean,
putting Kong on his back like that is definitely a feat all in its own.
I was just like, did somebody make sure that his back's not torn out? Is he okay? But yeah,
there's not many people that can pull stuff like that off.
No, Kong's great dude though, man. I enjoy watching what he's doing. He's a champ over at XICW still. I think he's the United States champion. He's still holding that belt, man.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. It's going to take a lot for anybody to take anything from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I reffed a match in IWA Mid-South where he finally lost the IWA title after like 2.5 years of holding it.
Right.
So, I mean, when he has a title, it usually stays there for quite a while.
Right. Now, there's, indie wrestling right now is like huge, real huge. Probably, in my opinion, and I've only been around indie wrestling now for about 3 to 4 years. I didn't even know it existed at one time. I really didn't. I mean, I had heard, but I just kind of like, whatever. And I just kind of got introduced to it, and then I was hooked like crack. Seriously, like I'm like a crackhead when it comes to this shit. And it's totally like I started watching WWE again for a little while, and then like after a while I was like, I just couldn't watch it no more. And now I'm all indie. I'm just like all Michigan indie. I'm like, dude, I can't. I'm just soaking it up. And I'd watch some Evolve and stuff like that too. But man, oh man, dude, like indies is where it's at. And you get that personal experience at an independent that you don't get sitting nosebleed at WWE. You know what I mean? You don't get that.
Right.
You don't get that.
Yeah.
And I really love that aspect of it. And even within the fan base of the independents, there's this like almost like a feeling of family, like we all belong together.
Yeah.
Is that something that you've been accustomed to, or do you think it's a little bit different?
I mean, it's pretty much the same for the wrestlers. We definitely have connections with each other, and we make almost like a brotherhood out of what we do. I mean, there's a good moment in time where we see each other more than we see, our family.
Right. Absolutely.
So, being on the road with each other and doing those types of things. And I'm sure it's the same for the fans, because you guys, especially here in Michigan, like if you're a fan of Michigan independent wrestling, you're going to go everywhere from Monroe to Kalkaska out to, Kalamazoo to Port Huron. Everywhere you're all going to go because you all love it and you all want to see the guys and everybody do well.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And we do drive. I'm not sure exactly. I think the longest drive I've made is Indiana, but that was the only time I was in Indiana. Nothing against Indiana. It's just it's not something I need to do because I can stay right here, in Michigan.
Right, and there is some great stuff going down in Indiana too.
Right.
They were definitely on the rise about 6 years ago when I first started going there. It was a little boom in the wrestling industry in Indiana, and there was you just could not go wrong wherever you were. There was just great shows, great wrestlers, great fans, large draws, good money everywhere. So it was good. And I feel like we were talking yesterday about Michigan being on kind of an upswing like that.
Yeah.
And, I just think now is a better time than ever to really start trying to expand out and bring in more fans to it. And, unfortunately with social media, you can't really do the type of advertising you need to draw in new people. So I think the old school aspects of, the footwork and the flyering and just getting out in the local areas, which we have done quite a bit of in Coldwater and the surrounding areas around there. I think it's just going to help draw more people in, and then those people will get hooked onto it. And then, hopefully we have more traveling fans.
Right.
Soon.
We talked a little bit yesterday about IWTV. At any point during your career, you started 11 years ago, after about 3-4 years in, did you go, man, there's going to be an independent wrestling TV network that's going to show nothing but indie wrestling? Did you ever think that was going to happen?
Not anywhere near the thing that IWTV's done.
Yeah.
There was like Smart Mark Video where you could buy DVDs and you could do that kind of stuff, but to actually be able to sit on your couch and watch a live show across the country that's an indie show is an incredible thing to me. I never thought we would
absolutely
see something like this, but that just goes to show how important the independent scene really is, not just for moving up, but just for, to bringing in more fans,
right,
and bringing in more people and just getting more eyes on you.
Right. And people actually pay to subscribe to this thing, and it's
right.
To watch this stuff,
right. And the companies are getting paid from IWTV per the views and all that kind of stuff. And it's just an awesome thing that I never thought that I would see something like that.
Well, and now you have, the company Evolve, if anybody doesn't know, was purchased by WWE, which was an independent. And now guys that were on Evolve that we know are now on the WWE network. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, so now their price went up. Okay?
Right.
So,
when you can go, here, check out my match on WWE Network.
Yeah.
Here's the link. It definitely brings that price up a little bit, I'm sure.
Jeff the Ref Bundy's all over the WWE Network now.
Yeah.
So,
Jeff's a great guy.
Oh, absolutely. Love Jeff.
One of my favorite refs.
Oh,
Somebody I've learned quite a bit of reffing from him.
Right. He's very particular. Ugh. He's meticulous about things. He's very well prepared for stuff. He doesn't.
Absolutely.
He does not like to be caught off guard. He
better make sure those shoulders are on the mat.
Right. No, yeah, good. That's hilarious, man. But and Cyrus Satine, Mark Ross, June Tai, Nate Matson. I could keep going.
When I went down to Florida the first time and seen Mark there, Cyrus, I almost didn't recognize him because of how much he changed and how much work he's been doing and everything. And it's awesome to see him get motivated.
Oh yeah.
And, out there really giving it a shot.
Yeah, he was putting in some work down there. I haven't talked to him in quite a while. Him and I are pretty close, and I haven't really talked to him in a while. I think he's been busy. I think he got a new job and stuff. So, but definitely good stuff. Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's been great sitting here talking with you, man.
Hey, thanks for having me again. Hopefully this one's live and everything goes well. We don't have to do it again tomorrow.
Right, yeah. I love these interviews where we can just sit and we can have a conversation. It's not so much, the back and forth of, so when did you start wrestling? And, that kind of the same shit you hear every podcast or every interview, right? We can actually sit down and have a conversation. And it's a good conversation, and I really enjoy it, man. Especially when we're talking about the shit we love, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely. Wrestling in general is a subject I don't think I could ever stop talking about at this point.
I feel bad sometimes because people see the show and they see me or they see the guys, and they automatically think that we know everything, and that's not the case. We don't, and like they automatically think that we're in on it, and we're like, no, we're not. We don't know. I don't, and even if the possibility was there, I wouldn't want to know. So, but then there's also the people that are like, they think that like, so we're really relatively new to the indie scene here. We're 3 years, right? And so we don't know a lot of if they're not actively working right now, we may not know them, or who they are. And it's not any disrespect. It's just we weren't involved in independent wrestling back then, so we just don't know.
Right. I had the same issue when I started coming into wrestling in 2009, 2010. I didn't know anything about the indie scene.
Right.
Though one of the best companies probably in the Midwest at the time was 10 minutes away from my house. And I probably would have got into wrestling a lot sooner than 24 years old if I had known about it.
Right. And that was the whole premise of starting Rasslin Rage and doing the whole thing. I mean, I have more plans and other things to start doing, and because you always got to be growing, you always got to be doing stuff, right? In order to grow and get better, you got to keep evolving. But the premise of starting the whole channel was based upon the fact that I had no idea that indies existed, and I was like, dude, this is not something we need to keep to ourselves. This is something that we need to share with the people and let them know, hey, there is indie wrestling going on, and it's not necessarily, a bunch of guys from WWE, but it's guys that you may see in the WWE at some point, or in Impact, or in AEW, or in MLW, or wherever, because there's like wrestling every day of the week now. You know?
Every day of the week, and like nationally broadcasted. Yes. Even NWA's got their YouTube thing, which is wildly successful when it was going on.
That song is amazing.
Those types of opportunities to see people, and then now it's being more known that like these guys aren't just getting trained at their facilities and coming out. Like they're doing these independent shows and everything like that. And now, since everybody doesn't have to pay $60 for a pay-per-view 3 times a month, they open up not just the opportunity to see them, but the financial opportunity to actually go too. So, I mean, all of that is just really helping everything. Turn up for everyone.
I say this, I've said it 100 times and I'll say it 100 more. I would gladly pay $25-$30. I'd pay as much as $30 depending on the card, obviously. But I'd gladly pay $30 to go to a show, to sit front row, and to be able to have the chance to get some autographs and what have you. Whether it be one guy or all the guys from Michigan, it doesn't matter to me. But I'm rather pay that money than go pay $60 to sit nosebleed or $700 to sit second row. Fuck that noise. Okay. Fuck that noise right now, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to have the same experience at that show as I'm going to have at an independent. It's not going to happen.
It's not. And you get to have those little bit of bragging rights, right?
Yeah,
like when you see the guy eventually go to TV, like Rohit Raju and all those types, Jackson Stone, all these types of guys, you get to go, hey man, you should have came with me to that indie show because I seen him on that.
Yeah, did you see that time on Rasslin Rage where Jackson Stone was in my fucking house?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Right, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And guys on the indie scene are just so quick to do things like this because we just want to get our names out there, get the product out, whatever we have to advertise. We'll take every opportunity we can. So we really appreciate you guys, especially you guys. You guys are doing an awesome job.
Well, I appreciate
everybody updated on the Michigan indie scene and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate that.
There is a little bit of competition out there, but we do our thing and we try to stay in our own lane. We're not pushing our way in. We're not buying our way in. We're not doing anything like that. We're not trying to say, hey, we're special, because we're not. We're some dudes that like some wrestling. That's really that's all it is. We're some dudes who like wrestling, and we pay for our ticket just like everybody else. We ain't trying to be nobody special. We're just doing our thing, man. And
yeah, that's awesome that you guys still come in and you guys don't have a big head about it. Like,
no.
I'm the Rasslin Rage guy. I don't have to pay a damn ticket. That kind of stuff. Because unfortunately those types of things do occur.
Oh, I know. I know.
So thankfully you guys aren't like that.
No, and we never will be. And if any of my guys get like that, I'll smack the shit out of them. I will, damn it.
That's why they call you the boss, right?
That's correct. I like you. All right. So, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. Click the bell if you want to be notified when new content becomes available on the channel. Don't forget also to scroll down there and subscribe to the CPU. I love it. CPU. Check out the CPU. All right. It's on YouTube. Subscribe to their channel. Also, click their bell so you can be notified when their web series starts and any new content becomes available. And also, you can follow their Facebook page right down there in the description. It's good stuff. VIP is sold out currently for Saturday. I'm not exactly sure how many tickets they got left, but their information is available on their event page there on Facebook. I believe that's down in the description as well. That's also on the flyer. There's information in the MIW group. There's information all over the internet. Just search Cyber Pro United or Vigilante Entertainment, and you will find it. Or Feel the Screams, you'll find it too. I mean, good stuff, right? Again, Podbean, check it out. That's where you ain't got to look at my ugly face. More so Danny Beals, because he's a lot uglier than I am. And that's a fact, Jack. But thank you again, Mr. Nick Moss, for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Cody. This was a great time. Glad to see you're doing better and everything. Hopefully it all keeps going well.
Yeah, and hopefully these motherfuckers donate $1,500 so we can see fucking Levi Blue as Barf and or Captain Spaulding, where he's given a choice now. So I really want to see that. All right, the War Panda is returning. And then the Dread King will be taking on the War Panda in a costume of his choice. And then the Guru is going to be in, I think, a Batman onesie or some shit. I don't know. But there's some shit going down. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. Good stuff. But thank you. I appreciate that, man. Always a good time. I definitely enjoy being back at it and doing this. I feel more at home now that we're back to doing Rage and interviews and MIW, and hopefully we still have wrestling with this bullshit. That's all I hope.
Right. Yeah, we're all hoping the same too. Right. Those 3 months or whatever it was, was pretty brutal.
Yeah. Oh,
for
trust
most
me.
Of us.
Yeah, and, it was trying to create content when there is no content.
Right.
Yeah,
so hopefully we can keep feeding y'all some content.
Yeah, amen to that. Well, I'm sitting on a bank of matches just in case. So
yeah,
just in case. And we're rolling out a couple new things, and one of those things is Danny Beals is going to do the cheat sheet, as it's going to be called, and he's going to do interviews with all the bad guys. Right? He's going to do the interviews with bad guys, and then I'm going to be doing what's called booze, like the booze you drink, and booze, like boo. And where I'm going to be drinking alcohol and watching independent matches while drinking alcohol, and I'm going to be yelling at the screen.
Oh, man, I got a couple links for you.
All right!
You can enjoy that for sure.
I like it. All right, guys, so don't forget what's today, Thursday. So Sunday, Rasslin Rage will be live at 7 p.m., following on Tuesday, MIW at 6:30. And then another interview on Wednesday. I just don't know who yet, but I'll figure it out. Because that's what I do. Because I'm the boss. All right, guys. Adios, amigos. Have a great night. And thank you so much for joining us once again.
Take care.
All of you mofos in the chat, you're awesome. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. It's going down. This is Rasslin Rage. Rasslin Rage.